find your lack of faith disturbing.
Gotcha!
Smashmouth Footballers. Introducing Nick Tate, Joe Caldero, Chad Young, Smashmouth Footballers.
Hey, welcome to Smashmouth Footballers. I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
And guys, welcome in today. Unfortunately, we do not have Chad here today, but we're still going to reach in, dive deep, and we're going to go into our QB tiers here at Smashmouth Footballers.
QB tiers for 2025 fantasy football season.
That's it, guys. So look, you may not agree based on the fact that, you see a quarterback that you feel like is going to win more games, but is he going to be better for your fantasy football team? That's the point we're looking at, and that's what we're going to make today. We may have a small little bit of different disagreements and stuff like that, but that's what it's all about, is trying to match who you believe is more of a fit for your team and what's going to help you win your fantasy football season.
Yeah, so you might have a running quarterback, you might play in a PPR league, you might be dynasty, you might, there's different levels. So we're going to try to explain why we are tiering the guys that we're tiering.
Yeah, the dynamics are different depending on what kind of fantasy league you play. PPR, you may have a QB that passes more, but in your standard league, he may run in and get you a bunch of touchdowns.
Standard league, you want a rushing quarterback.
Exactly.
So let's go ahead and get into it so we don't have to make people wait any longer.
Joe?
All right, so
Tier 1.
Tier 1. I was back and forth on this one, okay? Because Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, I want to see who I was back and forth on their stats from last year. Josh Allen, man, he did fantastic last year. His season stats, 3,731 yards, 28 touchdowns throwing, 6 interceptions, which is decent. 531 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns rushing. So in a standard league, he would be my number one. In a PPR league, Lamar Jackson would be my number one. So I'm going to list it as Josh Allen as my number one for now, and Lamar Jackson as my number two. 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 915 yards, and 4 touchdowns rushing. Lamar Jackson and Ravens, I've picked them to win the Super Bowl. This guy has grown every year since he came into the league. He's become a phenomenal passer and not just a runner. They've built a team around him, got a great offense. Defense they worked on in the draft and in free agency. They didn't do much for Josh Allen, wide receiver wise, but he always makes do with what he's got.
I don't understand why they don't. That's the whole thing with Josh Allen. You got a quarterback, franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's got unbelievable talent.
Yep.
Yet we're not targeting weapons that he could use so much better than what he's got. He's making do with average or below average wide receivers.
Made Mac Hollins into a hero.
Why are we not getting this guy an elite wide receiver?
I don't know. I think it's a money game.
Even then, you win a couple Super Bowls, that money comes to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you pay a guy $250 million on a contract, there's not much room, So my third guy in Tier 1, most people, most websites, most talking heads have Jalen Daniels there. Jalen Daniels is fantastic. He's going to be a MVP at some level in his career. Mm-hmm. But there's a guy named Joe Burrow out there, okay? On a losing team. This is probably why they picked Jalen Daniels over Joe Burrow, because of the losses. 4,918 yards. Pretty close to a 5,000 yard season. 43 touchdowns with only 19 interceptions. Now that's amazing. 201 rushing yards. He's not really that much of a runner, and 2 touchdowns rushing. So 45 touchdowns in a season, and they lost.
Oh yeah.
And they lost. They did a little bit in the draft to help their defense.
Their defense was their biggest issue, and instead of 19 interceptions, they only had 9.
9.
Yeah,
9.
said 19.
Oh, did I say 19?
Yeah.
Okay, my fault. 9 interceptions. Joe Burrow's one of our favorites. Of course, he played here at LSU. He's a icon here in Louisiana, even though he's not even from here. he's a hero here. But that pick is not just a homer pick. This guy is amazing.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you got to look at it, right? So Lamar Jackson only threw for 4,100 touchdowns last year, excuse me. Joe Burrow, yards. And then Joe Burrow throws for 4,918 yards last year. That's a lot. It's almost 900 more points in your fantasy league for Joe Burrow.
And that's still while keeping his running back relevant.
Yes.
So Joe Burrow is absolutely amazing in Tier 1. So my Tier 1, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson to me are interchangeable. Mm-hmm. I'm going with Lamar Jackson because in our PPR leagues is my number 1. In our standards, I'm going with Josh Allen. What you got on Tier 1?
I got the exact same thing. And it wasn't by choice. It wasn't that me and Joe talked about it ahead of time, actually. And I really didn't see you doing the Joe Burrow pick just like me as well. But going into 2025, I really believe Lamar Jackson's going to be the number 1 quarterback. And I hate to say it. I really do.
Chad just loves him.
He's let me down every time I've had him as a quarterback, and that was several years ago.
Mm-hmm. I actually traded him to you one.
Yeah.
He 2 games in a row he threw up nothings.
Yep.
I traded him to you, and you put him on your bench.
And he was boomer bust all season. Last year he like Joe's saying, completely different player. Consistency. Mm-hmm. That's what we're always looking for, right? You want a quarterback. You want a player that's consistent every game. Who's going to get at least 1 touchdown? Yeah. Who's going to get? He's going to throw for so many yards. Mm-hmm. So forth, so on. So Lamar Jackson, not only is his ability grown, he's developed, he's become a better QB. Someone saw something inside of him, and it really worked. But also, they've developed a team around him that like Joe's saying, there's no reason going into 2025 these guys shouldn't be in the Super Bowl. So for me, Lamar Jackson is number 1. And I'm going to put old Joshy Allen at number 3. Joe Burrow as my number 2 QB going into 2025. And it's not because of the hometown love or anything like that. Now, you got to, from Louisiana, you got to have a little LSU love there, but it's not the reason. You're looking at 49. He threw the most yards in the NFL last year. If you did watch the first Baltimore Bengals game, it was back and forth. They almost scored a total of 100 points as your over-under.
Exciting game.
The problem was the defense. It wasn't the Baltimore Ravens defense. It was the Cincinnati Bengals defense. And truly in the draft so far, unless they practice better, the players develop on defense, this poor team is still struggling in the defensive area. And if they got better, this team would be in the Super Bowl as well.
Yep. And also, I believe that they didn't do enough in their secondary. The Bengals didn't do enough in their secondary. Joe Burrow is going to have to throw the ball as much as he did last year.
And that's the only way they're going to
win.
So looking into last year, he got 43 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson got 41, and Josh Allen only got 28. Mm-hmm. So he may not be that leg-worked QB. Standard-wise, Joe Burrow, definitely number 2. And again, Josh Allen is number 3. Now, I'm not trying to just discredit Josh Allen. I love watching Josh Allen play. Again, going back to what I said earlier, they give this guy a disservice by not giving him any good wide. He's got average wide receivers, right? He's got a great pass-catching running back, I think that's what's really leading him into help right there.
His number 1 receiver is a small guy. Shakur's great.
Yeah,
but he's a little guy.
Yeah,
and
that's hard to deal with unless he can get downfield and get away. You got these defenders, these corners, these linebackers that are just so much taller. The targets become a lot smaller, and Josh Allen's got to fit that ball right here in this little bitty hole, and he's doing a great job. So Josh Allen, Tier 1, my number 3 quarterback.
I can see it. Absolutely. Those 3 guys, You can't go wrong.
No, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
Fantasy-wise, I think you're winning all day.
You want to go with your tier 2?
Yeah, let's do tier 2. All right, for me, I got Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Daniels, and Baker Mayfield. All right, my tier 2 reason is Pat Mahomes, still a great playmaker. You know, we've seen him so many years as the number 1 QB. His team has lost a lot in the wide receiver area. Travis Kelce is number 1 receiver, tight end type duo. I mean, he's just not making things happen like he did 2 years ago.
Right.
There's no more Tyreek Hill. Their wide receivers, they keep interchanging them year by year. Either they're in trouble or they're picking up an older veteran or whoever. And Xavier Worthy came in last year, made a small difference, but it wasn't that impact. When Pat Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, no one could catch him. He was always finding a way to get open. And that was another element that this team is missing. And that's why Pat Mahomes is not in the top tier. Now, does he still have that playmaking ability, that no-quit effort? He is constantly doing that. Last year, Pat Mahomes, let me get to his stats real quick.
Well, see, like Pat Mahomes is in the same situation that Josh Allen is. When Rashee Rice went down, they had no answer.
Right, exactly.
And they were bringing in people to fill a spot, and hopefully they did good. That's exactly the way Buffalo plays the wide receiver game.
That's right. And I don't understand what happened. You know, they didn't want to pay Tyreek Hill any more money. All of a sudden, they got rid of him. And now they've been kind of just filling in that gap.
Seeing what Rashee Rice is going to be able to do, the legal troubles and injuries.
It's not there. So last year, he got 3,928 passing yards, which is really good. That's really close to Josh Allen. I think he was 100 yards over Josh Allen. But he had 26 touchdowns, which is 2 less than Josh Allen. So, I mean, it's there. You know, but he's not in that tier 1 right now. And maybe they figure out a way to get there. I'm not really sure. Of course, we got Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, man, do we love this guy, right? I mean, he is a humble individual.
Football player, man.
I loved listening to a lot of his stories after the Super Bowl. You know, he lives in a moderate home, $500,000 home. He's happy with it. He doesn't need a big mansion. So he's great personality. He's not looking for a lot of attention. He's very consistent. He helps his team win. The only thing is, as a QB, he's passing the love around. Saquon Barkley's taking a lot of that, and he's not creating those fantasy points you want. Last year, he had 2,903 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. And that's why I believe he's in my tier 2.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield.
Love him.
Man.
Hit or miss, though.
I have grown to just enjoy and watch this guy every season that comes up. He's the guy you want to see play because you can guarantee you he doesn't care about the money.
Right.
He's out there having a blast. He's fighting. He's arguing. He's taunting. It's a game. It's his life. He's enjoying every bit of it. Last year, Baker Mayfield, 4,500 passing yards and 41 touchdowns. How can you ask for more than that QB?
Nope.
I mean, he honestly should be closer to our tier 1 QB, but like Joe's saying, consistency. Several games, he had a lot of misses. The team has got great performance. I mean, unlike the Chiefs, right now he's got 3 great wide receivers, and honestly, their rookie they picked up may be an amazing wide receiver as well. And then, of course, Bucky Irving coming on and showing what he's got. Oh, my gosh. Came
Great
in
pass catcher.
and took away that number 1 running back position and became a great weapon to Baker Mayfield. I love him. I'm hoping to get Baker in my drafts this year. Honestly, I'll probably try to trade for him somewhere along the lines. And then, of course, my last but not least, Jalen Daniels in this area. I love Jayden. I loved his performance last year. I honestly had very little faith of him coming out of college and developing into the NFL, but just because of how a player transfers his ability to play in college and put it into the NFL, it doesn't always correlate. And then those people flop. Jayden Daniels runs straight up. I was waiting for the game that they're like, oh man, knee injury, he's out because he got sacked the way he got hit or whatever. It never happened. It seems that his play style actually transfers over and is working amazingly. They got all the way out to the semifinals in almost one game from the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Of course, Jaylen Hurts, he showed them, you know what, I'm a more seasoned veteran, got a better team. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. But he had 3,568 passing yards and 25 touchdowns. There's nothing but great room for this quarterback to develop. They keep building around him. They get him more weapons. The team, honestly, Washington, that city should be so proud because you took a team that couldn't do anything, is in the same position right now as the Cleveland Browns, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons, where you have zero hope that they'll go into next year and win. And in 1 year, they took them all the way to the playoffs.
Right.
And for me, that's what my number 2 is.
Okay. So my tier 2, I've got 5 people.
Okay.
Jalen Daniels is my number 1 in tier 2. And it's mostly not just because of the passing yards. So he got 3,568. I'm going to go ahead and go out there and say he gets 3,800 this year, easily. The addition of Debo doesn't move the needle a whole lot for me, but that's at least 800 more yards.
Right.
And the 9 interceptions, he has to work on that a little bit. But right here, 891 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. That's why I put him in my first in position in tier 2. Second, Jaylen Hurts. Jaylen Hurts brought me to the championship game in our dynasty league. Jaylen Hurts is quietly a sneaky great quarterback. The problem is the yards that he throws for. He's got Saquon. Saquon demands a lot of attention carrying the ball. 2,903 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 630 yards rushing, 14 rushing touchdowns. 14. Without looking at the stats, would you have remembered that he had 14 rushing touchdowns last year? The dude is sneaky good.
Well, on top of that, the tush push plays a big part in that.
Big part. Baker Mayfield next, of course. I love watching Baker Mayfield play football. He loves the game. We've talked about it before, how I sent probably 100 emails to the Saints before they picked up Derek Carr, begging them to pick up Baker Mayfield, giving them reasons, showing them stats.
That's their quarterback. That would have been the quarterback they always wanted.
And the money compared to what they paid Derek Carr for the player,
oh my gosh,
it would have fit perfectly with what the Saints could afford. 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's his problem. The interceptions is his problem. That's when he gets inconsistent.
Yep.
But in fantasy football, it's only costing you a point. So I like the gunslinger mentality. He still runs the ball, 378 yards. So this is where a thing gets kind of muddled. People have Patrick Mahomes in tier 2. I do too, because of his potential. And it's not just because I do not like Patrick Mahomes. I don't like, he's ruining his legacy by doing all the flopping, by doing all the crying, by every time he pops up, he goes straight to the referee. He just needs to play football. And then I'll start liking him again. Right now, he's the LeBron James of the NFL to me. He cries more than anybody. That flop he did last year.
Yeah, wasn't even touched the whole time.
That
2 Texas players hit themselves just like that. And if you go back and look the camera review, Pat Mahomes was never touched.
But I had it as my screensaver on my phone for a long time. But so Patrick Mahomes, okay, this was him. I'm gonna give you his season stats. 3,928 yards.
Yep.
Nothing to sneeze at. Who in the beginning of last year's fantasy football before the draft said Patrick Mahomes would not have 4,000 yards?
That would be you.
That'd be me. 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That was because their left tackle was so bad. That's why. They shored that up. So I think he'll clean up a little bit of that. He'll reach 4,000 yards this year with bad wide receiver. 307 yards rushing and two rushing touchdowns. But I'm putting a guy above him that nobody's talking about. I'm moving Mr. Dak Prescott all the way from tier 4.
Oh, wow.
Let's look at it.
No, I agree. I see where you're talking about.
2023, when he played his full season, just 2 years ago, 2023, 4,516 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Now he's got one more wide receiver.
Yeah. Terrible move on the Steelers. Terrible move.
Terrible. Pickens is going. There's going to be 2 1,000-yard receivers on that team. CD might get 1,700. CD is amazing, but Pickens is nothing to sneeze at.
Nope.
As long as he keeps his head on straight, they have no running game right now. Well, they're going to have to build their rookie into a runner. Dak is going to throw the ball and run the ball. When the season's over or mid-season, I want everybody to be able to tell me that I was right. Dak Prescott is a tier 2 quarterback this year.
I can see what you're talking about. You take Jaden Blue, right? That's the rookie they're talking about, or that's what Joe's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can develop him into a James Cook style running back, that's what that team needs.
He's still throwing the ball to him.
They don't need that hard-nosed running back. Tony Pollard wasn't that guy.
No.
And when he was in there doing what he had to do, that's when that team was successful.
Right.
And there's a good possibility you can do the same thing with the rookie running back. Again, the weapons, Jake Ferguson, tight end.
Great pass catcher.
I mean, if he stays healthy this year, I mean, the weapons are there. Dak should not be able to complain. They've got 2 seasoned veteran running backs with Dallas. I'm not saying they're a lot to sneeze at, but they also have a lot they could teach that rookie. And then on top of that, they have a lot they can give that team. So I do see where you're coming from. The question is, does he come back from injury? Does he not?
Yeah, I worry about the Kirk Cousins effect.
Yeah, the Kirk Cousins effect. Does he come back and does he turn his game around?
Does he like baby that injury?
Yeah.
If he does, then we got a problem.
Yep.
But if he doesn't and he comes out and he balls, which I think Dak Prescott's going to do. This guy's a football player. And I've made jokes in the past about Dak Romo or Tony Prescott, because that's who they are. They've been the same guy.
Yeah,
Tony Romo threw up some numbers, but he couldn't win in the important times.
That's it.
I think Dak Prescott gets out of that shadow this year if he stays healthy.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And and then Patrick Mahomes is my last guy in tier 2. If Rashee Rice comes back, he might overtake Dak. Patrick Mahomes needs to get back to playing football and quit crying. They need to get away from Kelsey running like he's got 20-pound weights on his ankles and give some more people a chance to play some
It ain't
football.
looking good for Kelsey.
No.
There's a lot of news out there. The Taylor Swift effect is in effect. They say that Kelsey's probably put on another 20 pounds. As far as they could tell, from the photographers and stuff like that, paparazzi. But definitely the boy has put on weight and is not muscle. So that's a hindrance to that team. Even if he goes into the into the summer camps and loses that weight, I mean, he's already a step behind. He's also getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I said it earlier. He just doesn't have the team he had when he 2 or 3 years ago.
No, but I do think Xavier Worthy takes a huge step this year.
That'd be great.
The dude is like lightning in a bottle. I think he takes a huge step.
I mean, that's going to take some configurance, some Andy Reid love.
Best coach, probably top 3 coach in the game right now.
Easy, so.
So that's my tier 2, Jalen Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Dak, and Mahomes.
All right, well, where we got on your tier 3, buddy?
Oh, my tier 3? Now, this dude is special, and this is your guy.
Yep.
I mean, you absolutely.
I already know where you're going.
You absolutely loved this dude, and I wasn't sold. I'll admit it, I wasn't. And then somewhere around game 3 or 4,
you're like, what?
I was like, this dude is special. This dude is Jaylen Hurts that can throw the ball.
Right.
So, Bo Nix is my number 1 position in tier 3. 3,775 yards and 29 touchdowns. 12 interceptions, that was the problem. That was in the beginning. That was the first 4 or 5 games. He was throwing them like they were on his team.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got his act together. His thing, man, this dude runs 430 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know. Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it a little bit of Taysom Hill? The kid is he's a big kid. He runs leaning forward. He runs kind of like straight up, but leaning forward. He takes the hits.
I think he is the Drew Brees that the Saints always wanted.
If Drew Brees could run.
If Drew Brees could run.
Right. He has some things he's got to clean up on some of them decision making, but it's just year 2.
Year 2, he's learning, he's growing, and what he did with hardly any wide receivers, with zero running game. When I say zero, probably at the time the worst running game in the NFL last year. He could only go up from here.
Yep. Second guy, I don't know why this guy is so forgotten, man. Justin Herbert is one of the most accurate passers in the game. They have never been able to put a team around him. They've given him receivers over the years, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who sometimes both were out at the same time.
Yep.
And then they had to, and so now they've got Lad McConkey. If Quentin Johnston can get out of whatever funk he's in, the dude is so talented. 3,870 yards. This guy will get 4,000 yards this year. 23 touchdowns throwing. 306 yards rushing and two touchdowns. I don't know when he decided he was going to go away from running the ball. Maybe the coach told him to quit running. He needs to get back to his game and run the ball. If he could get 550, 600 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns rushing, this dude could easily boost himself up. Easily. He's so talented. If there's one quarterback if I could pick one quarterback besides, of course, Josh Allen or Lamar, one quarterback in these lower tiers who I would love to come to the Saints, it's Justin Herbert. This guy is one of the most accurate, him and Tua, 2 of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. Then the third spot, I was like, they run the ball so much. And he choked in the playoffs, Jared Goff. But when Jared Goff is on, he is on.
He is on.
4,629 yards passing on a running team with 2 great running backs.
You can't knock that.
37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Sometimes he reverted back to the Jared Goff, the reason why the Rams traded him. He's not going to run the ball, so don't worry about that. And then, of course, another forgotten guy, Matt Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a weapon now.
You got a new one.
Yep. So with the 2 receivers that he's got, with the running backs with Kyron Williams that he's got, I mean, he can't go wrong. He's got a strong offensive line, got a great defense.
Man, defense is killing it.
So how come Matt Stafford is put in the 4th and 5th tiers in some of these? I don't understand it. He's in my 4th position in the 3rd tier, and I think Matt Stafford this year is a 4,000 yard quarterback.
Easy.
And last year he had 3,762 yards, 20 touchdowns. That was one of his lower totals over his career. So I got Matt Stafford making a step up. Caleb Williams is my next guy. Caleb Williams will be the Bears' first 4,000 yard passer in recent memory of all their quarterbacks that they've had over the last, 15 years?
Yep.
But I don't like the noise that's coming out of Chicago right now about him and his dad saying they didn't want to go to the Bears. They wanted to do anything else but go to the Bears. They tried to not go to the Bears. That's going to cause some problems. He's got to go out and play and not even don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about it. Just go out and let your play talk for you.
Well, he's got to stop because 99% of the time when you hear something like this around a player, that drama, that diva mentality causes problems and the season bombs. And it's not something that we feel like should happen. I mean, it's facts on the table. Antonio Brown, the more you heard about him, the worse it got. Every player that you start hearing this drama about, let's go with Shadur Sanders. And I'm not discrediting Shadur Sanders. The more you heard about Shadur Sanders, the worse the draft got.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I truly believe the guy that the Browns drafted before him is way worse than Shadur Sanders. I think Shadur Sanders should have been picked a lot sooner. Whatever the reasoning being that the NFL allowed him to fall and fall and fall, and then eventually he got drafted. But the noise of everything leads up to some kind of mishap.
Well, so just in the Shadur Sanders thing, 31 teams passed on him.
Yeah.
For 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of dollars at stake.
Yep.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars at stake.
Teams that need.
There's no collusion because somebody in that 31 teams is going to be like, I'd rather win and make $1 billion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sneak in. There was something there.
Yep.
And everybody's speculating. Social media, they're saying it's this or that or whatever. There was something there that they didn't like. I don't think it was necessarily his play on the field. I don't think it was his leadership on the field. He seemed to be, if you watch the videos, he seemed to be a good leader. He would get on the players when they did something wrong, but he wouldn't stay on them. He would be like, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. He is a check down guy. A lot of his yards were on check downs, but it had to have been something.
But the noise is what, behind noise follows
negativity.
Catastrophe. Yeah,
negativity. So if Caleb Williams can just keep the noise out and just play ball.
Yeah.
Chicago, the NFL is so much better to watch when Chicago is good. Mm-hmm. You know? And the Chicago fans are not that far from being like Philadelphia Eagles fans. They don't want that noise.
No,
they'll boo that dude out of the.
Well, they want a winning team. They want a Sunday night, Sunday day tailgate right there in the center of the Windy City, and they want to have fun. And they want to wear shirts and jerseys, and they want to put that name on the back of that jersey that says Williams, and they want to throw up those hats that say Super Bowl bound.
Yep.
You know, so that it's just a matter of time. Let's see what happens.
So my last position, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy. I went Brock Purdy on an off year, 3,864 yards, 20 touchdowns. He ran for 323 yards and 5 touchdowns. Nothing to sneeze at, nothing bad. And Brock Purdy, they had an off year.
It was terrible.
But Kyler Murray, his career is an off year.
Yeah.
To me.
No, I'm with you.
3,851 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 572 yards, and 5 touchdowns. These guys are like right here. Yep. Kyler Murray's either going to run for more yards and touchdowns, or Brock Purdy is going to throw for more. You know, so we'll see. Those are mine. Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy.
All right. Well, I'm going to start it off. I have just 2 difference, but for me, number 1 in that league, in that whole area, again, with Joe, Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. All right. Bo Nix, rookie year, came out last year. Everyone doubted him. And, I mean, we're putting tier 2 type numbers up, 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Again, like Joe said, majority of those interceptions came at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. Okay. He can only go up from here. His team has accumulated more weapons, and then on top of that, what's really sick is the defense got better.
Oh man, how could it get better?
That's what I don't understand, right? So they kept drafting better defensive players, and you're just like, what is this? Like, this is the defense this year that you want. There's no doubt in my mind, if you're playing fantasy football, at some point, if you're not thinking, I want the Denver Broncos, you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
So, with a team, with a defense that's going to keep the offense on the other side of the field, off the field, and your quarterback on the field, guess what's going to happen? He's going to throw yards.
Right.
He's going to throw passes. He's going to throw touchdowns. And, I mean, it's only going to get better. So, definitely Bo Nix is my number 1. My number 2 guy in this area is going to be Matt Stafford. All right? It's kind of like Joe said, kind of forgotten. He's an older guy, but you can't discredit his numbers. Give me one.
His full body of a career is fantastic. I mean, this guy has has been the outstanding player on bad teams in Detroit. And they built something over here in LA.
I mean, he's right under Bo Nix, 3,762 passing yards, 20 touchdowns. A lot of that, I mean, came because of their running game. Their running game is so strong. Blake Corum, Kyrene Williams. I mean, we're looking at a running game. I mean, it's not number one, but it's definitely in the top 5 as far as teams go. Because you got some teams that's got Derrick Henry, right? And that's a house. But you're looking at a tandem combo, kind of like the Detroit Lions. Who doesn't want a piece of that? The Detroit Lions, their running game, it didn't matter which running back you had. You were going to score fantasy points that you needed the whole time. And they're not far. This team is not far from that. And then, of course, they pick up Devontae Adams, great wide receiver playmaker. I think he's probably as happy as he could possibly be. He's got a quarterback that he knows is going to get him the ball. He's got a coach that is probably in the top 5 coaches in the NFL. And
he's not a prima donna. A lot of people say he's a prima donna. The guy wants to win. He wants to be given a chance to win. Yeah, he gets
mad. He gets frustrated, but he isn't out there making a scene. He's either getting on to his players or he's fighting for his players who didn't make a mistake that had a bad call.
Right.
So he's doing great. Matt Stafford, going into that, my next one is Jared Goff. And again, same thing what Joe said. I mean, the numbers don't lie. Jared Goff last year, I mean, he put up QB numbers that you wanted. We're looking at 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns, and that's not with the running game. The problem is with Jared Goff, a lot of these come in highs and lows. Majority of them come on one game. Like there was games that I think they were up 40.
Three interceptions.
Yeah, 48-something touchdown. I mean, 48-something points to 10 or 12 or 0 or whatever. They just stomped the ground with their other team. But then there's games where he didn't get hardly any touchdowns, any yardage or anything like that. So the highs and lows for fantasy, for winning, great. For getting into the playoffs, great. When it comes to fantasy football, winning your league, Jared Goff, it's just the consistency. Will he get it together this year? I'm not sure. But he's definitely a guy that you want to start off with. You can even get him as a backup. If you get him as a backup, man, you'll win all day. You know, like this is the guy that, you know, you get you a Lamar Jackson and a Jared Goff on the bye week. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You get one of them boom games from Jared Goff or just an average game from Jared Goff, you're winning all day.
I wouldn't mind having Jared Goff and Bo Nix. That'd be great. Because Bo Nix elevated toward the playoffs. Jared Goff kind of fell off a little bit.
That's it. Look at it like this too. I mean, who's he going to throw to, right? Who's he going to give the ball off to? Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. So I mean, somebody's got to give him the ball. Who doesn't pick Amon-Ra St. Brown? Somebody throws Amon-Ra the ball. It's got to be Jared Goff. So definitely one of my favorite QBs in Tier 3. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to throw this out here. Justin Herbert, you know, do not discredit Joe. Think it's all great. I think exactly what he's saying. He's kind of in a position and he has a lot of talent, but they keep giving him these weird weapons, right? The previous year, before last year, I mean, he had 2 older vets who are always hurt. They're tall, they're slow. Last year, they give him a short, little, fast guy, and he has no other weapons. I mean, what do you do with that, right?
Yeah.
This year, they picked a couple rookies. They also still have Ladd McConkey.
Brought Mike Williams back.
So hopefully, they're getting that mix they need so this guy can elevate from this Tier 3 to a Tier 2 QB. Does he have the ability? Definitely so. Will they allow him to run? Hopefully they do, because this team right here needs it. And what else did they get? Amari and Hampton.
Man,
okay.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, you're looking at the second best running back in the draft, pass catcher. I mean, he has the ability to be another Jameer Gibbs, and who doesn't want that guy?
I think at the end of the season, he's going to be the number one out of the rookie class, because no team's going to be able to stack the box on them with the receivers they got and the weapons they got. It's going to be good.
It'll be good. Okay. Now, let me throw some wrenches out there.
Yeah, I like wrenches.
Okay. I got 2 more QBs I put in Tier 3, and one of them is because, well, actually, they're both kind of because I think they have the ability to up their level this year. And one, Geno Smith.
I knew you was going to say Geno.
Geno Smith. I'm not a Geno fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't like him on the Seahawks that much. I definitely didn't draft him. But this year, with the move that they made, he's got his coach. They've got weapons. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. I mean, the wide receiver core is solid. The team is different. There's a lot of assets. I mean, Ashton Genty is beast mode made over, right? I think he's faster. I think he's got better legs. And this is the team that the old Seahawks wanted to be, the ones that went to the Super Bowl, right? And so Geno Smith has the upside. Last year with the Seahawks, he was still a Tier 4 QB, easily, right? And they had a lot of problems. Kenneth Walker always got hurt.
Defense wasn't as great as it was in the past.
Exactly.
Raiders have a good defense.
Raiders is in the top 5 defenses in the NFL this year. What was the defense's issue last year? They didn't have a passing game. They didn't have an offense. So the defense stayed out on the field the majority of the time, got tired. This year, I think that changes. The defense stays fresh. The defense is in the top 5 this year. This is a team to watch. Yes. And I think Geno Smith is going to take them there. Last but not least, C.J. Stroud. Okay, we're talking last year, the hopes and prayers, and everybody thought that Houston was going to be the team to beat. And what happened? A lot of missteps. C.J. didn't have any offensive line.
None.
He's got 2.3 seconds to throw the ball, but the talent is there. The year prior to that, he came out his rookie year, showed everybody what he had, and then he got given all the weapons. I mean, I even seen a meme online saying they were creating the Avengers, and I truly felt like that was the window where it was. What they do in the off season, they drafted, they traded, and the offensive line got not great but better.
Right.
And I think this is an opportunity for CJ to pick it up, get past that sophomore slump, and go out there and win. So, I mean, they made a lot of good moves on the wide receiver issue. Nico Collins is healthy. They picked up Christian Kirk, great vet.
Joe Mixon is getting younger instead of older.
That's weird. I think he's taking something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's steroids or nothing like that, but I think he's probably taking something that's
like a lot of vitamins.
I don't know what's going on. This guy
is just getting better and better.
He's getting in that genealogy. You know, he's talking to some people that's kind of make his life better. I don't know, but he's doing great.
Yep.
I mean, he's out there dominating. One of the best running backs last year, probably number 7 or 8 in the running back core. So that's where I land. So those are my Tier 3 QBs going into season 2025.
Okay, so we're only going to cover 3 tiers, but I want to, if you have 1 or 2 guys in the lower,
I do.
who you see are going to make a huge jump and could possibly get into the top 3 tiers. Who's one of your guys?
I got one. Drake May.
I agree, 100%.
Drake May did not play the full season last year. Drake May still put up amazing numbers for missing several games last year. He still got 2,276 passing yards and 15 touchdowns. He is just right there on the cusp.
Got sacked 34 times.
Sacked 34 times. He's on the cusp of being a Tier 3, didn't play a full season, and New England invested money in everything to make this team win this year.
I agree.
Great running back, more wide receivers. They got Stephon Diggs, veteran wide receiver. Look, say what you want to say about his diva mentality. He's out there. He's a number 1. On top of that, he's still got all the guys that he had last year that help him get to these numbers. So it only goes up from here.
Yep. One of mine, C.J. Stroud, he's Tier 4. He could easily get into Tier 3 or 2. They did work on the offensive line, got weapons now, better weapons now as at receiver. Mixon's an animal. C.J. Stroud is the embodiment of a quarterback that all coaches want. Perfect footwork, progression guy, makes all the right throws. He just needed more time, and I think that this year that guy's going to make a huge step forward.
Without a doubt.
I got one more, and a lot of people tell me if you agree with me out there. Bryce Young as a Tier 5 quarterback, if he can keep his head on, the Bryce Young at the last 4 games of last year, if he can play like that with the new weapons they've got, and they worked on the offensive line, good running backs. I mean, think about it, Chuba and Rico.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong. So if Bryce Young can keep it together, instead of tier 5, lower tier 5, he can easily get into lower tier 3 and take maybe Brock Purdy's spot, or even Caleb Williams if the noise
continues on.
Yep. So that's my other guy.
I see exactly what you're talking about, because with Bryce Young, once and this is just a speculation, this is my opinion, once he realized, you know what, I may not play football for the rest of my life like I wanted to.
Or be a backup.
Be a backup or whatever. I don't know. Something snapped just like that. They gave him another shot, and what did he do? He didn't miss. This is the one thing that I do not realize, I do not understand about a lot of QBs, just like Derek Carr, right? Derek Carr got booted from the Raiders. He went to the Saints. All our hopes was, I want revenge. I want to show them they were wrong, and I'm going to get out there and play. He didn't do that.
Nope. He went into a businessman. Give me the money.
He took a check, and it was over. Bryce Young, not the same idea. You know what? I came here to play football. This is what I've been doing my whole life. This is what I want to do. And he got out there and he showed them with minimal help on the field. You know, you got Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Old. When I say old, okay? Still out there connected with this guy, right? Other wide receivers, Leggett and all that, just needed more time together. Chuba Hubbard got out there, said, you know what? I want a job too.
McMillan's going to make the difference. He's going to make a huge difference there.
So now what they do, they draft a number 1 wide receiver. They put him with, you know, who was one of Alabama's best QBs. He can't miss. It's just now it's does he get that mentality he had last year, get in his head and say, you know what, let's go out there and win football.
Right. You got a second one?
No.
I do want to shout out Justin Fields though, man. I want him to do so good. I like the dude. The dude is a consummate professional. He's very talented.
I'd love to see it happen.
If he could work on his throwing game a little bit, man, the dude's unstoppable.
I wanted him on New Orleans.
I agree.
And it didn't happen. When they were tossing it around and they were going to do something with Justin Fields, it's like, come on, Saints.
Come on.
Right?
Pay him league minimum.
I know, right?
Anyway.
So, I mean, you got the offensive coordinator for the Eagles to come over as head coach. They like to do the tush push. They did all these other things. All the offensive plays, guess who can do all those? Justin Fields. They didn't pick him up. The Jets did. I think it's a great move on the Jets. I hope he does great.
I do too.
So,
and that's it.
All right.
3 tiers.
That's it. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. Until next time, I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
And we're out.
Smashmouth Footballers.
This ain't no regular thing.
Artlist.io.
I shoot my shot and it's clean. This from my city, yeah, this from my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. The game is in trouble. I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle. I got it for real. Still keep me going. I wake
Music
up
licensing reimagined.
in the field, man of the town. You've been in your fields. I'm adjusting this crown. Call me your majesty. Either that or your tragedy.